Two young girls are having their clothes being ripped off in the middle of the forest about to be raped by some bandits. The girls are crying and screaming for help. A giant knight in silver armor moves like the wind, slicing right through four of the men clean in half. The man's the in-game name is Arc. Hours previously the knight was really a gamer, waking up in the body of his character, an 8-foot-tall skeleton with the best armor and weapons and having physical and magical resistance based on his level. All he remembers the previous night is him falling asleep on his computer while he's playing. As he's walking along, he barely notices the armor that he's wearing, what is not feeling heavy at all but feeling as light as a feather. Arc adjusts to the game rather quickly, trying out his skills, noticing they seem to be more powerful than usual, with his class being slightly different but keeping what he originally had. But his class being updated to that of Holy Knight, making him mega up. Arch's stomach begins to growl with him being rather hungry, so he checks his supplies to find that he has no food or money. So he uses the gate spell to travel to the nearest town, but instead sends them right in front of him. He falls. The spell he used only works on the town he's already visited, so it wouldn't be able to work here. Instead of doing this, he uses his dimensional to get around with it, allowing him to move his character any direction. His mouse clicks on the screen view there. It's a short distance move. Arc takes his helmet off and admires the scenery, knowing a skeleton would scare people. Knowing he looks like a skeleton now, he would be made into a target, so he decided to keep his helmet on at all times, renaming himself as Arc, using his character's in-game name. In the nearest town, the large knight attracts attention with the stall owner. Seeing his shiny armor in the alleyway, he spots a female elf, with her being annoyed by a human who didn't keep his word. When hearing her conversation, he learns that she's an elf. Arc loses his composure after hearing so, with the girl shooting her ears. As he has no money, he attempts to become an adventurer, but he must first earn his license by slaying 3 enemies, with these being either a beast monster or a bandit. The man at the desk thinks the task will be below his status, so Arc decides to change his persona, creating a more valiant voice. The man finds all his questions to be rather strange, with the requirements to get his license being rather elementary, that even a little kid would know so, but the man assumes that he's working to take care of a sick child or something noble. In the forest, he slays a boar and an orc, and while searching for his third enemy, he witnesses bandits attacking a coach. He wonders if he should risk getting involved until he sees the 2 young women, so he steps in and violently kills the bandits with his theme music playing. The bandits are confused by his violent attack, trying to run away. The ladies introduce themselves, the first being noble Lauren Louvert and her maid Rita. He allows them to get themselves together while he goes to clean up the bandits' mess, with Lauren admiring the man. Arc thinks about how it feels to kill someone, burning their bodies. Surprised that he doesn't feel guilty, Arc begins to loot their bodies looking for valuables. Feeling that this is good enough loot to hold them over for a while, the 2 young women thank him for his deed. Afterwards, he escorts him back to town. The young girl stares at him, making him blush. With the bandits and the orc slain, he's able to obtain his first meal and his license using the bandits' cash. Of course, able to eat and drink, even though he has a skeleton potty, coming to terms that he might be stuck in this world permanently. Arc decides to have fun beginning his new life. The next morning, a young mother is preparing her soup to be served along with some bread before leaving to go to the fields. Her daughter Martha wakes up this year leave. The girl is grateful for a mother working so hard to raise them, wanting to do her part by picking herbs so that she can earn some more money. She hears a knock at the door. When she opens it, the girl is frightened, seeing a knight Arthur stopped at a job protecting a young lady named Marker, as she was collecting her medical herbs, with the senior adventurer adamant that he should join a mercenary guild for a more dangerous quest that would better suit the status. Archer is curious about Marker's haste to begin, and Margaret explains that she doesn't want her mother Fiona, with her mother being overprotective ever since her father died. Her father's job used to be picking herbs, so she thinks this will make things easier. Arc finds her to be too pure for this cruel world. Margaret starts to teach Arc all the different types of herbs and their uses. They come across an injured kitsune. The creature doesn't trust Arc, fighting him. Arc heals the creature, doing so for the first time. The fox animal decides to trust him, wanting to stay with Arc. Now Arc names the Pontypoor's fluffy tail. Fiona learns that Mark had left the village with an old hunter, giving her the news that there's been an extremely dangerous monster in the forest. Marker leaves Arc to a tree without having valuable medicine. A hunter comes back to the village panicking, explaining he didn't run into any fang boars but a beast. The man isn't worried, seeing that a very powerful knight would we have marked it into the forest, but Marker's mother is tuning it out, worried about her child at the tree. Mark disregards Arc's warning, and she walks right in front of a powerful lizard monster, with her being inside its territory with it Being a basilic with a previously injuring panther, the frog can use poison breath, paralyzing claws, and a petrified, with it being much more powerful than a middle-class player. Arc is able to dodge and shield them, keeping the upper hand. The Bastille is stronger than what it was in the game, but arguably the one-shot it with the power of judgment. The girl calls him incredible, and she's ready to tell the entire town what happened here. He tells Margaret to keep it a secret with him. Not wanting to draw any unwanted attention to himself. He notices a magical ring Levac with a shattering after it's defeated. He returns Marker back to her village, along with a giant fang boar for the villagers to feast on. Arc is able to sweet talk his way out of the mess. Later that night, soldiers kill another basilic. They then come across a much larger quartz of Bastille. Arc killed, noticing that it was killed by a single strike, wondering who killed it. Back in town, Arc and Panther are enjoying a nice feast. That night, the elf in the hooded coat thinks about her situation, having a cynicism look on the human race, calling their pact of forest, living in a world of injustice and azate with no salvation. That we speak of deeming her pact to be a warrior, to be the right one. Seeing a silver knight come out of the cave, she achieves her blade, ready to attack. Arc deals with the bandits hiding inside a cave, laughing maniacally with both him and a panty glaring at them with a sinister eye, taking their treasure as loot, also noticing the cages but not caring elsewhere. It is revealed the attack of Lorn Loretter was a failed assassination ordered by the Lord Triton, into who was himself ordered by Prince Diacris to establish the kingdom. Triton is also furious at his son Uterlin back in the forest. A female elf watches Arc emerge from the bandits' cave, attacking him, accusing him of kidnapping the elf children with him, recognizing the elf from Theliway, with him wanting to discuss the matter more reasonably when she's accusing him of a crime, but she doesn't want to do so. She does stop her blade. After seeing Ponte find the fox rather cute, she recognizes the fox as a four-spirit creature. Since the spirit creatures are rarely trusted by elves and even more rare by mortals, she realizes that Arc couldn't be the kidnapper. Apologizing for her actions, Ariane blends Maple is here because she heard that these bandits have been running around selling and enslaving her people. Arc is confused why they would do that, with Ariana looking annoyed at him, thinking he would already know, but the people fetching a large price on the black market. But she's a bit relieved. In shock when he honestly knows nothing about this. Ariane excuses herself. Arc nervously offers his services to help her out, but she refuses. With the matter dealing with her kind, not needing him to get in her way. Arc still feels like this is one of those quests where he helps out a beautiful elf girl. That night, Punter and Arc have a feast. Arc is fired up and motivated to be an assistance to her. In the forest, an elf child is being tortured by Udlin and his men. The female elf kills most of the slave traders, but is forced to stop and surrender when Udlin threatens to hurt the children. With the men having frightening plans for her, Arc overpowers Odalin and protects the children for her, allowing the elf to handle what happens next, killing the rest of them. Arc then frees the captives. With Ariane still not wanting his help, the girls have a magical sealing collar on them that made them unable to escape. Arc is able to free them by removing the curse on them, magically healing their wounds, to the elf warrior's amazement. Refusing to believe that Arc is simply an adventurer, but convinced enough that he is trustworthy. The kids warm up to Arc. Ariane receives a message that more enslaved elves have been located, so she hires Arc to help her out. So this is where we're going to leave off in today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and comment your thoughts. So go check it out. I'll be uploading this anime to multiple parts, and if you did like this video, why not subscribe? I'll be uploading daily videos just like this one, so see you next time.